You tried to cancel Netflix last week. You clicked settings, you clicked account, you scrolled, and somehow you gave up. That was not an accident. That was architecture. This isn't a Netflix problem. It's an industry playbook. Netflix, Hulu, Adobe, Amazon, different companies, completely different products, all running the same psychological loop on you every time you try to leave. There's even a name for it, the Roach Motel. The term was coined in 2010 by a UX researcher named Harry Brignall. You can check in easily. Checking out is a maze, and every wrong turn costs you another month. Think about those cheap motels where the door only swings one direction. That's what these companies have built into their software. On purpose, Brignall started a website, darkpatterns.org, specifically to name and shame companies doing it. He thought public exposure would be enough. It wasn't. Most people don't realize that the sign-up flows and the cancellation flows for these platforms are not built by the same people with the same goals. Sign-up is designed by growth engineers, silky smooth, one click. Credit card pre-filled if you're logged in anywhere. Cancellation, that goes through a completely different team. A team with a retention target. A team that gets bonuses when fewer people leave. Two different incentives. One interface, and you're standing in the middle of it. Every cancellation maze you've ever fought through was built with the same 3 layers of friction. They don't have to use all 3, but the best ones do. Layer 1, burial. The cancel button exists. They have to put it somewhere. Legally, they have to offer it, but it will never be where you expect it. On Netflix, you won't find it in the app settings. You have to go to a web browser, click your profile icon, select account, then navigate to membership and billing, a section that sounds like it's for payment updates, not cancellations. That path is no accident. They paid information architects to bury the cancel button as deep as they could without actually hiding it. Layer 2, confirm shaming. You've seen this. The screen that lists every show you're currently watching. The reminder that your plan includes 4 simultaneous streams. The guilt trip asking, are you sure you want to lose all this? This is the no thanks. I don't want to save money button. It exploits a psychological effect called loss aversion. Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky proved that losing something hurts about twice as much as gaining the same thing feels good. That's exactly what these guilt screens are using against you. Their emotional leverage. Layer 3. The pause offer. Right before the final confirm, when you've burned through the first 2 layers and you're 2 seconds from freedom, the platform introduces a new option. Pause your subscription. Keep everything for 3 months. Come back whenever. This is the last safety net, and it works on a huge percentage of people. Not because it's a good deal, but because your decision-making energy is exhausted. Psychologists call this decision fatigue. Every single click in that flow burns mental energy. By the time you reach the pause offer, your brain is exhausted, and exhausted brains always pick the easiest option. That's why the pause button exists. Each layer doesn't work alone. Stack them together and you've built a system that's genuinely difficult for a human brain to push through, no matter how determined they were when they started. Here's where it gets darker. These flows weren't designed by normal UI teams. They were signed off by behavioral economists, the exact same people who design retirement forms and organ donation checkboxes. They knew exactly what these screens do to your brain, and at least one company kept internal documentation proving they knew. They named the whole thing after a 3,000-year-old war, and they put it in writing. Amazon Prime had a cancellation process they called the Iliad flow, named after Homer's epic poem, the one with thousands of lines of ancient Greek describing a decade of war and suffering. That's what Amazon's internal teams named their cancellation interface. Of course, the irony was fully intentional. The Iliad flow was 4 full pages, 6 clicks minimum, 15 different options designed to trip you up. Just to be clear, this wasn't some outdated UI nobody bothered to fix. This was a retention machine, built and maintained by a company making $44 billion a year from subscriptions. In 2023, the FTC sued Amazon directly over it. The complaint named specific executives, Neil Lindsay, Russell Grandinetti, Jamil Ghani, as the people who approved these flows. That's rare. Government agencies rarely name individuals in cases like this. It meant regulators weren't just going after the company. They were going after the decision makers. In September 2025, Amazon settled $2.5 billion, $1 billion in civil penalties, $1.5 billion in direct refunds to customers. The largest dark pattern enforcement action in history. Amazon wasn't alone on the bill. Vonage, the internet phone service, paid $100 million after the FTC found their cancellation process required customers to call a phone line that was only open during limited hours. Even though signing up had been fully online, ABC Mouse, the children's education program, paid $10 million for making their cancellation option essentially unfindable. Epic Games, the maker of Fortnite, a game played by hundreds of millions of people, settled for $245 million for using the exact same playbook. The FTC formalized everything in a September 2022 report called Bringing Dark Patterns to Light. It wasn't a new law. These design tricks were already illegal under existing consumer protection statutes, and that enforcement was coming. There's a term from behavioral economics that describes exactly what these flows do: sludge, coined by economists Richard Thaler and Cass Sunstein, the same researchers who gave us nudge theory, the idea that good defaults guide people toward better decisions. Sludge is the opposite. It's deliberate friction, paperwork that doesn't need to exist, screens that don't need to be there, confirmation steps that serve no purpose except to make you give up. Thaler and Sunstein defined it as any aspect of choice architecture consisting of friction that makes it harder for people to obtain an outcome that will make them better off. Tech companies took an academic concept designed to protect people from bad decisions and pointed it directly at your wallet. The business math is pretty clean here. If a platform has 10 million subscribers paying $15 a month, retaining just 1% of people who tried to cancel generates an extra $1.5 million a month, every month, without building anything new. Pure friction revenue. The FTC had a proposed solution, the click-to-cancel rule. It would have required companies to let you cancel any subscription as easily as you signed up. One click in, one click out. In July 2025, a federal appeals court struck it down on a procedural technicality. The regulator hadn't completed a preliminary analysis required under the FTC Act. The rule never took effect, and as of early 2026, nobody in Washington is reviving it. So the legal shield that was supposed to exist for you doesn't. Once you know the 3 layers, you can stop fighting the flow and just skip it. Here's how to spot a roach motel before you're trapped in one. Sign 1, you signed up in under a minute. If sign up was frictionless and you're now clicking through your 6th screen trying to leave, you're in one. Sign 2, the interface shows you what you're losing before confirming. Nobody lists your benefits when you're upgrading. That screen only exists at cancellation. It's designed to hit your loss aversion response, not inform you. Sign 3, you're presented with an option that wasn't on the homepage. Pause, downgrade, a special discount. None of this exists in your account settings on a normal day. It appears at cancellation because that's the only moment where retaining you has a measurable dollar value. Now for the shortcut. On Netflix specifically, skip the app entirely, open a browser, and go directly to netflix.com/cancelplan. That URL bypasses the account navigation and drops you straight onto the cancellation page. You'll still see the retention screen with the pause offer. Click past it, hit finish cancellation, done. You're out in under 60 seconds. For Adobe, Hulu, and most other subscription platforms, the fastest path is almost always the direct billing URL, not the account dashboard. Search the platform name plus cancel subscription direct link, and you'll typically find a URL that skips the menu burial. And if a service forces you to call them to cancel, even though you signed up online, that's 100% on purpose. They want you stuck on hold, listening to retention scripts. Document the call. Get a confirmation number. FTC rules are watching this exact trick now. And the most important shift, decide to cancel before you open the interface. The flows are designed to make you reconsider while you're inside them. Every screen is calibrated to the moment when you're most likely to second-guess yourself. If you walk in having already decided, the screens become boring. A guilt trip only lands if you're uncertain. Go uncertain. You can't unsee this now. And that's exactly what they don't want. This is what design looks like when it's working against you. Subscribe if you want to keep seeing the systems that are running on you. Next week, Amazon's checkout was built by a behavioral economist, someone who spent years in academia, studying exactly which psychological mechanisms make humans spend money they didn't plan to spend. And Amazon hired him. You're going to want to see that one.